Hi, welcome to Chavis Photography, and today's topic is focal length and wide angles down to the zoom lens or portrait lens of 127 millimeters. And there's lenses that go up to 600 millimeters. That brings in, I don't have one, so I can't show you anything with that. So I'm going to show you the difference between a wide angle lens, a 50, and the zoom lens, 127 millimeters. Okay, and how it compresses the image and how it also widens the image. Okay, now to start off, I got to explain to you that what your eye sees per lens for a lens, they say a 50 mil lens is what our eyes sees. So when you look through a 50 mil lens and your eye, it's pretty much exactly the same. Okay, when you go wider and fisheye, that's not what we see every day. When we go to a zoom lens to 100 to 85 and to 100 to 127, 600, that's not what the eye sees. So I am going to show you what happens. I'm going to show you how the wide angle lens gets a little wider, and then things get compressed. How objects get compressed into a photo because of the millimeters of the lens increases past 50. Okay, I'm going to show you now. So everything you're going to see now is just pictures. I'm just changing the aperture. I'm not changing the distance, zooming in or not. It's just I'm changing the lens so you can see the difference. As you can see here, the white vase in the front, white object, is in pretty much okay focus. And then the second object, which is a clear glass with shells in it, the jar, is pretty good in focus too. And then you can see the third object, another third white object. It's not bad. Okay, that was shot at 3.5 aperture. So I changed it up. I always go up to just 8. The next one, I don't go increments, I'm just going to go up to 8. Now as you can see 8, you can see past the third object, and the two jars in the background are starting to get in clear focus. Okay, that's the aperture grabbing more things in focus. The focal length is pretty long. Then I'm going to go to 22, which is the most this lens has aperture. And you can pretty much see all vases and everything in focus. Now, I am close to the subject, so that also creates a problem when you get close to a subject and focus in on. If I focused second jar, then the white vase in front of me would be in focus as well, but I didn't. I just wanted to stay focused on this thing. I didn't want to change anything up. So we go to the next lens. This is the 50 mil lens. I didn't change the position of the camera. I kept it in the same spot because I didn't have to. As you can see, the subjects are closer. Okay, this is what the camera is only like maybe about a foot and a half away, and this is the object, the size of it. As you can see, the white vase, everything's gotten bigger, and we're zoomed in a bit more. 50. Okay, this is the 50 mil lens, and now we can see this. Now this is all shot at aperture 3.5 as well, and as you can see, the jar in the next position is out of focus. Okay, just the white vase out front here is in focus. I go to the next one. Now you can see this is f8. Now you can see the white vase in front, the jar is in focus, and you can see the next vase is a little out of focus, but it's getting there. Okay, I go to the third, and this is f22. Now you can see all two vases are in focus, and even the jars in the background there are getting in focus. Now this is a compressed lens, so it won't go as far as you want to get everything in focus. It just doesn't. Not like the wide angle. So now moving on, I jumped right to 127 millimeter lens. Okay, back to this lens gets me 1.8 aperture. Half the white vase in front is in focus. I don't think the full thing of it's in focus. The jar behind it's clearly out of focus. Okay? Notice how everything's even more compressed compared to the last shot. It's bigger, it's larger. I actually had to move the lens back to get this in focus because this lens won't focus until you're back a good 5 feet from the subject. So I'm back 5 feet. So this would be huger in this image if I didn't move back, if I could get it on focus. Again, now you move to the second shot, f8. Now you can see the first vase, all of it is in pretty much in focus, but the glass jar behind isn't. It's not in focus yet. That's how compressed and the short focal length of this lens. Now you can see how compressed the focal length is of a 127 millimeters versus a 50. So go back to the 50 and go to its f8. If you go back to its f8, you get a few, two things in focus there. Here are nothing. Here are just the one vase up front. Now I'm going to f22, which is the furthest on this lens, and I can get the jar in focus past it, and then maybe a bit more of the vase behind it, and that's it. So you can see, the more you have a longer lens, the focal length gets compressed quite a bit, and you get less in focus. Why would you want that? Usually for portraits, so you want the background out of the shot, or when you're shooting animals, or the longer your lens you get, the shorter focal length, but that's how lenses work, and that's the focal length. So when you're choosing your lens, you got to know what you want to focus in on. If you want everything in focus, yeah, go wide angle. If you just want a few things in focus, then you can zoom in and use that longer lens. It's your choice, or you come closer to the subject. And even when you come closer to a subject, the closer you get, the less you have in the background of focus sometimes, depending on a wide angle lens. Some good wide angle lens will get you things in focus and in the back, pretty much in focus, but not totally everything. It's just how it works. And there you go. So thank you for tuning in. It's Chavis Photography course. And the next thing I'm going to be talking about, I think, is lighting. Check out lighting, different types of lighting, meaning how you light somebody, side lighting, back lighting, things like that. So tune in and subscribe to Chavis Photography. Thank you.